Rizik Dominic Samuel is hereby appointed as the Director General of the National Communication Authority. 3. Mr. Emmanuel Athiaye Ayual is hereby appointed as the Managing Director of Nile Petroleum Corporation, NilePet. The President of the Republic extends his gratitude to the outgoing officials for their dedicated service to the nation and conveys best wishes to the newly appointed officials as they assume their responsibilities. Signed, Salva Kiir Mayardit, President, Republic of South Sudan, Juba. And to begin our news bulletin for tonight with the Vice President for the Economic Cluster, Dr. James Igga, returning to continue efforts to unite the country under a central agenda of stability and economic transportation aimed at improving the living conditions of the South Sudanese people. Dr. Igga officially assumed his role on Tuesday. SSBC's Henry Jada reports.
We come before you today to bless this office of the Vice President of the Republic of South Sudan, His Excellency, Dr. James Igga. As you granted Solomon a wise and understanding, serve here the grace to lead with humility.
The neighborhoods of the presidency came alive as the office staff of Vice President Dr. James Igga welcomed him back to continue his economic revitalization efforts intended to ease nationwide economic challenges. Dr. Igga encouraged the staff to embrace a renewed commitment to building a peaceful, cohesive, and sustainably developing nation, asking for forgiveness for any shortcomings during his first tenure in office. As he begins his responsibilities for the second time, Dr. Igga outlined his plans for economic transformation.
Naskul alikan sakalin mai lokan peru atai baramini nide anakana mululezol tane batal afone narde ha wana kaman beafu aizol alikana mululena haja batal ay asad nefta safa jadid. أنا أعرف موطن الأرض بتاع الجنوب ما فوق وزارة ما تسوب جدي ناس تابانين عشان كلام موية ما أنا بدفع موية بتاعكم لكن أنا داير أقول لكم ما دعم من وزارة ديل وزارة تانين بتا كلاس تانين هنعمل جهود بتاعنا عشان الناس بتاعنا كلي دفعوا ساحريا.
The Minister of Presidential Affairs African on Monday, ministers of the Economic Cluster and religious leaders from the Catholic Archdiocese of Juba and the Episcopal Church of South Sudan also attended the welcoming ceremony. As Dr. Igga resumed his duties, expectations remain high that his renewed leadership will guide the country towards economic stability and sustainable growth. His first official working day, His Excellency Dr. James Igga has assured his commitment to do more than before to advancing on economic transformation, transparency, and accountability. Dr. Igga assured his readiness to work closely with His Excellency General Salva Kiir Mayardit to answer the demands of the people of South Sudan. Henry Jada John, SSBC News.
Reverting your attention to the parliamentary session chaired by the Speaker of Parliament, Gemma Nunukumba, where members have unanimously passed the long-awaited Cybercrimes and Computer Misuse Bill 2025 with all observations and recommendations that will be incorporated by the relevant committees before the Speaker, according to Oliver Mori, the chairperson of the Information and Communication Technology. After the incorporation of all the recommendations, the Speaker will take the bill to President to be assented into law of the land.
Of the significant importance of the bill and recommendations made by the August House during its second reading stage and the urgency of this bill to establish and provide a citizen-oriented cybercrimes regulatory framework, respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms as stipulated in the Constitution of the Republic of South Sudan 2011 as amended. The Joint Committees requested the August House to deliberate and propose remarks and observations.
After the passing of the bill, the Minister of Information, Atanyuega Atany, commends the Parliament for taking a bold move to pass the bill he says will address artificial intelligence-related issues. Work added that time has come to confront social media negative propagations head-on as abusers stand a timely prosecution.
There are those who use artificial intelligence to discredit people. Even some few days ago, one former vice president, I was actually brought as greeting him, and I never had a picture with him in my life. So that kind of thing, they are.
The governor of Central Equatoria State, Emmanuel Adil Anthony, is seeking backing for his security measures aimed at restoring law and order across the state. Adil briefed the Presidential Advisor on National Security Affairs, Tut Gadluak, on the state security situation as he brings his national duties. Manime assured the governor of his dedication to supporting efforts towards peace and stability for sustainable development.
During our inauguration, or swearing in, the president has directed that we should manage the security of our country so that people and their lives are protected. So I came to brief Honorable Tut about the plans that we have and the necessary support towards that direction. And one most important thing of all is improving the security situation in Juba City and all our major towns and the whole Central Equatoria State. One important thing I would like to call upon all the citizens, and especially people in Juba and across the state, for us to embrace peace and dialogue and reconciliation. And if there are other things that we notice are not going well, we will definitely, as a government, respond where necessary. But most importantly is let us be the defenders of peace in our communities, in our quarter council, and the whole of the state. And I've Honorable Tut has assured the whole security infrastructure of our country in supporting this endeavor for us to deliver not only a very peaceful Central Equatoria, but peace in Juba, which is the national capital. All of you are aware that all stakeholders, being international community, being it regional community, and even the people of South Sudan are in Juba. And therefore, we'll count on his support and the support of the whole infrastructure of security so that we'll.
In other news, plans to rehabilitate Juba-Yei-Kaya Road are underway following a meeting between the governor of Central Equatoria State, Emmanuel Adil Anthony, and a team of the state parliamentary caucus led by Paul Yuan Bonju over the need to rehabilitate the Juba-Yei-Kaya Road to enhance security.
Solely concentrated on a need to rehabilitate and repair some of the hot spots along Juba-Yei-Kaya Road and also Yei-Lasu Road, and then from Yei to Rasool, because traveling from here to Yei to Kaya and from Yei to Lasu and Yei to Rasool is becoming a very, very difficult issue. So this one, the governor has been very positive, and I believe that soon the rehabilitation, hopefully, with the support of the communities, people will see.
Government and United Nations have renewed commitment to deepening humanitarian cooperation. This comes in a meeting with the Minister of Finance and Planning, Dr. Bak Barnaba Cholbak, and the UN Resident and Humanitarian Coordinator, Anita Kiki, who raised 5 key areas of concern that include support for agriculture, education, health and nutrition sectors, peace implementation, as well as rapid response to a humanitarian situation to support the affected communities. The Ministry's Director of Communication and Media, Tech, Stephen Ogut, says the Minister has reiterated the government's commitment to addressing the country's economic situation by increasing budget allocation to key sectors in the national budget.
Finance and Planning, Honorable Dr. Bak Barnabe Chol, met with Madam Anita Kiki, the UN Resident Coordinator / Humanitarian Coordinator, and discussed 5 key areas, including support to agriculture sector, education, health, nutrition, rapid response to humanitarian situation to support the displaced communities, as well as support to the implementation of the peace agreement. The Honorable Minister emphasized the government's commitment to support these key areas by underlining the support and increased allocation to these key sectors in the national budget, which has been passed by the Cabinet and is due to be presented to the National Assembly for deliberation.
The 16 Days of Activism campaign commences in Juba, South Sudan, to raise awareness and foster the importance of accountability in ending gender-based violence in the country. Abate Simon Godo reports.
Activism campaign, first launched in 1991 as an annual program dedicated to creating public awareness on violence against women. Representing the minister, the Deputy Minister of Information Communication Technology and Postal Services, David Yao Yao, said digital platforms are meant to generate conversations about positive developments, not for harmful norms and behaviors.
We will strengthen policies to combat online harassment and misinformation that target women, ensuring that digital platforms operating within our borders are held accountable for facilitating exploitation. Our commitment to freedom of expression does not and will never extend the freedom to abuse.
The Minister of Health and Acting Minister of Gender, Child and Social Welfare, Sarah Kilito, calls for action from individuals, organizations and governments to end impunity, promote accountability and move towards zero tolerance for violence against women and girls.
Use your platforms wisely. Choose empathy over cruelty. Choose respect over mockery. And if you see abuse happen, and don't be silent. Be the one who will break the silence of your girls.
The Deputy Special Representative of the United Nations Secretary General and the United Nations Resident and Humanitarian Coordinator, Anita Kiki, appeals for more community protection against digital abuse, especially of women and girls.
We launch these 16 days of activism, a commitment to a future that is free from gender-based violence in all its forms, a future that is peaceful.
The donor community representative, Ambassador Fia Ernason, encourages South Sudanese to apply digital platforms for advancing economic performance.
Equipping young people with digital skills, we can shape an inclusive, respectful and violence-free digital future. The European Union will continue to stand in solidarity with the women and girls of South Sudan.
The 16 Days of Activism campaign is a globally recognized period from 25th November through 10 December annually for raising public awareness, promoting action, and fostering accountability to end gender-based violence. Abate Simon.
The Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Akwi Bona Malwal, and Nusalev Kosek, and non-resident ambassador of the Shares Republic to South Sudan, have discussed deepening bilateral relationship between the two nations through enhanced collaborations. The two officials also explored ways to foster mining exploration efforts. Moving over to Torit, the capital of Eastern Equatoria, where Watu communities have been relieved from the fear of armed attacks after gallant SSPDF forces successfully flashed out coalition opposition forces of the IO and NAS who had been carrying out attacks on civilian locations. Appearing in military uniform, LT General Governor Louise Lobong Lojore visited Ifotu Payam following the dislodgement of rebel forces from the area and its surrounding locations. The SSPDF conducted a swift minute-long operation in Rube, an area that had long served as a major stronghold and launching pad of SPLA-IO activities. The commander of the SSPDF 7th Infantry Division in Eastern Equatorial State, General Moses, condemned social media users for circulating fake information, claiming that Torit had been captured by the SSPLA-IO and NAS.
We are going to celebrate the Muadnin Bitabelede and we photo. And as he photo, Viziaman de Kulu, Asoro, Adido, my wallet with Yoman and Bogolo, General Patrick. The Karamanas, the Duku, the Nyakamo, Obeshulu Nazreka and the machine, Shulu Haja Bitobon, the soup, the Tatoretini, Beshulu Nus, the Taja Alanda. And I'm talking, hey, our Nazar can be selling Shedit. Mitain, Okuma, Beji Turu, but you remain there from Alde. One other in a Kalamino. الناس بتاعيسن إكواتوريا وكله جنوب السودان كله كلام الكبير موسس بيقولوا ديجر الموسس بيقولوا في السوشيال ميديا قال لي أيوة ديل مسكوا توريد وغفنا جيري واللي ده كسرو كلموا ناينو زمن ده كله in a machine or a kura with a mujirimin and jajimu who came and raided.
In a historic step towards strengthening peace and restoring trust between the two regions, Governor of Jonglei State, Dr. Igga Cook, has officially handed over 6 abducted children and 2 pregnant women to the Pibor Chief Gola Boyoy Gola as the 3-day Intercommunal Peace Conference opens in Bor, Jonglei State. The handover ceremony marks a major highlight of the ongoing 3-day Intercommunal Peace Conference organized in partnership with Peace Canal and other development organizations aimed at ending child abduction, cattle raiding, and intercommunal conflicts across the two regions.
Six abducted children plus 2 abducted women who were abducted by Low Nuer of Road County that will be handed over today to the Chief Administrator, Excellency Wolaboya, and we have also received 1 child. We have received 1 child who was abducted by the Murle and brought today by the Chief Administrator. We thank all the authorities and all the people, especially our partners who participated in making this dream become real. I'm handing over to my brother.
To the state. Today we have received 2 abducted women and 6 abducted from the government of Jonglei State. This is a historic moment, and this is an issue that we want to be back on. As to sister state, we have to make sure that we return all abductees. This is part of the business issue. And these children were abducted by long hair in Road County, and today brought back so that they can be united with their families and their loved ones. I also want to thank the Commission of Road County for the work that has been doing. This recovery is very important for us, the government of GP, because we have been collecting a lot of children. So this work shows to our people, and we encourage them to be more abductees. In return also, the government of the State of India, we have handed over 1 abducted child to the government of Jonglei State.
The National Elections Commission intensifies its civic education on voter registration process targeting schools and youth organizations. As elections period looms, the Commission engages over 70 students participants at Upper Nile University premises. SSBC's Akwejbany Marek Akwejbany reports.
To foster public understanding of voter registration process as elections period beckons, the National Election Commission continues to advance its civic education public outreach program targeting the youth, who are making 70% of the country's population. On Tuesday, at the Upper Nile University's premises, the Commission engaged more than 70 students, participants selected by their respective students' unions, on discussions aimed at creating awareness and enhancing the youth participation in the democratic elections as the nation gears towards 2026 elections at the end of the transitional period. Barnabas Mayordeng, the Director of Public Outreach at NEC, stresses the importance of the voter registration education in fostering citizens' right to choose their leaders freely.
We are getting very close. Voter education will tell you now how you are going to vote and what are the procedures. In this matter, we are going to form small committees within the students. Most of the committees will be from first-time voter youth or students who can approach the first-time voter, and then all other students. And then you are ambassador, you go to the community and inform the people about the election.
Representing the University Dean, Dr. Biara Tim Ding, comments the process.
Because what they did today is really very important for all of us, and especially for you as students, because you are the targeted group, because most of the activities during election process, you will be the one carrying the activities, and also maybe some of you have not participated in the election before. This will be your first time, so that you know the procedures that will take place during the election.
Mariko Mayomluet, the students' representative, calls upon the youth to organize themselves and be involved in the electoral process.
So therefore, my words to my university administration, we desire more civic education so that the pure students who have understood will have opportunity to engage with thousands of students within the university and the rest of the other universities. And for those who have not yet got opportunity, please welcome this organized electoral body in our nation to help you understand why it is important to have elections.
Akwejbany Marek, SSBC.
Dr. Garang Memorial University of Science and Technology has organized the groundbreaking ceremony for construction of modern laboratories in Bor on Monday. The project is in partnership with the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization. Addressing the ceremony, the Minister of General Education and Instruction, Simon Adorthon, who is also the representative of the state governor, appreciated the development partners for supporting the university with modern tools. He also added that the state authority would work collectively with the university for people's welfare. For his part, the Vice-Chancellor of Dr. John Garang Memorial University, Professor Abraham Matojdal, commended the role played by the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization in supporting the university with modern technologies. Let's go for a short break and stay tuned for more stories coming up. Welcome back from that short break to proceed with our news bulletin. Following the start of the primary school certificate exams across the country, many primary school certificate centers witnessed the commencement of exams as scheduled in various states and administrative regions. Mario Suleiman reports.
Addressing candidates at a Salam neighborhood school in Wau on Monday, Governor Daniel Sharif encouraged learners to write their examinations confidently to achieve good results that will reflect good reputations of their states. At Abongo,
وبقول لأبناء بتاعي الطلاب والطالبات الممتحنين بتمنى لكم التوفيق والنجاح وتحرزوا درجات عالية حتى ترفعوا راس بتاع المعلمين بتاعكم وتدرسوكم وراس بتاع ولاية بتاع غرب بحر الغزال. عايزين نقول لكم احنا كحكومة هنضيف ونشجع التعليم.
At Abongo, primary schools in Yambio, capital of Western Equatorial States, Governor James Atevja says the government has done so much to provide a suitable environment for candidates of the Certificate of Primary Education's Examination 2025. He wished them success in the national exercise.
Our role is to make sure that the environment of your examination is conducive. The rest is yours. But I am sure all of you are going to pass. Honestly, together with the Deputy Governor and the administration of the Ministry of Education, to make sure that all the centers in Western Equatorial State is well equipped.
Addressing pupils at Bor A Primary School, Governor Dr. Gaiko encouraged learners taking the examination to approach the various papers with confidence. He likens education to a tool in human transformations.
We are seeing the future of this great nation called South Sudan. Because among you will come out the teachers, the doctors, the engineers, the ministers, the future president for this country will come out of you. We are seeing future in your faces.
At Malakia Primary School in Malakal, Deputy Governor Dengjo Angok encouraged pupils to strive for good results for their states.
نحن مبسوطين إنه امتحانات تقام في الجو البيود فيه الأمن واستقرار في ولاية. الوقفة دي لتشجيع لكم أخواتي وأبنائنا الطلبة وطالبات إنه في المرحلة العصيبة دي تجتهدوا تجيبوا نتيجة كويس يمثل الولاية.
Addressing pupils at Imi Robin Primary School in Warabi State, Deputy Governor Alwel Garang encouraged examinations candidates to recall what they have been taught.
Let the Warabi State be the state that top 10. Let's take number 1. All the candidates for primary 8 in Warabi State, I'm grateful and I wish you success in your centers. I hope all the students are ready today.
The Chief Administrator of Ruling Administrative Area, Stefano Vio, inspired the pupils at Napata Primary Schools in the refugees camp at Ajuangtok in Jamjang County to work hard to become leaders of tomorrow.
It is the day you want to define your future. Where do you want to go from here? You are going to finish your exams and you will receive your certificate of primary education. And you will be looking forward that next year you will be in senior 1. And that is the life of education, and then find yourself in the university.
At Abia Primary School, Arovdi and Kual, the Deputy Chief Administrator calls upon pupils to focus on their examination papers to achieve excellence for themselves and the administrative area.
أنا مبسوط من العدد المنتهي 906 والتساوي بين الأنثى والذكر في العدد ده حاجة كويس. الامتحانات ده انت ونفسك لو غشيت نفسك عشان تصرف انت ما غشيت دول تاني انت غشيت نفسك.
Northern Barakazal State Minister of Education, Akonding Ango, in his peer candidate at Cornerstones Primary School in Awil Town to work for achieving good results in the state.
Today we are launching the exams for primary 8. And the exam is covering 85 centers, of which we have 8,000 learners, over 8,000 learners. So we are estimating that all the learners are ready for the exams and they are going to successfully finish this exam across the state.
Addressing candidate at Rumbek Girls Primary School, Lake State Minister of Education Nelson Makur McCoy says quality educations produce quality generations.
And we don't want to found our nation on a fake education, on a fake education system, on a weak education system. We must have a strong education system whereby our candidates, our children must struggle and work hard to pass with what they have committed to do by themselves. This is where we will have a strong generation. This is where we will have a strong generation of leadership.
All in all, candidates now writing their certificates of primary education examinations are exhorted top approach the different papers diligently to earn places in secondary schools in the coming academic year.
Nearly 2,000 Sudanese refugees are sitting for the Certificate of Primary Education CPE examination in South Sudan. This is part of the broader aspect to enable access to education for all in the country. The students are part of the more than 80,000 primary school pupils sitting for this year's examination. Dr. Athian Bak, the Secretary General of the Examination Council, states that at least 1,842 refugee candidates are among the more than 84,000 pupils sitting for this year's Certificate of Primary Education CPE examination.
Of 84,813 are sitting. Males are 45,545 and females are 39,216. The percentage of males are 54% and of course 46% for females. This student are sitting in 1,953 schools, clustered into 551 centers across the nation. There is an increase of 15,536 this year, because last year it was 70,010. So an increase is of 18.2%. The refugees are 1,842 refugees. The number also increased from the number of last year. Refugees are in Maban, they are in Ruang administrative area, and they are in Western Equatorial State. Of course, it was very clear, the message was delivered by the Minister, that any case of malpractice, these results are termed null and void. Of course, we will cancel the results. This is the penalties we give to every malpractice in the examination, whether being CPE or CSE. Of course, the result will be released before the schools opens on the 2nd of February 2026. Yeah, we try our best, hopefully, as per the arrangement and our coordination with the Ministry of Finance, the funds will be available in time, and hopefully
The critical process of drafting a permanent constitution for South Sudan is gaining momentum. Driven by on-ground consultations, the National Constitutional Review Commission, NCRC, has deployed teams across Western Equatorial State, actively soliciting direct and filtered feedback from both everyday citizens and local leadership. As the Commission travels through the region, they are encountering bold and specific demands regarding government accountability, deep military reform, and implementation of federalism.
This is more than a tour. It is a historic mission to define the future fabric of the nation. The National Constitutional Review Commission team is currently moving across Western Equatorial State with a clear mandate to listen, to conduct vital civic education, and to hold public consultations that will shape the country's new permanent constitution. The dialogue began intensely as the Commission consulted the state organized forces. During these sessions, uniform personnel laid out a strict timeline for future leadership.
الزول كبير في حكومة عمل غلط مثلا أخذ أموال بتاع الدولة لازم يحاسبوا.
حاجات اللي عندنا في جنوب السودان برا من بنزين أنا متأكد جنوب السودان ده براقبة في دقيقة بدون أي مشكلة ودير كده نكونوا عين ورا حاجات ديل يقسموا سوا سوا.
ما تعليم ده حسب بعث من نحن بعدين نحن في وسط إقطاريا.
In a separate high-level engagement, the team consulted Cabinet of the Azande Kingdom. Traditional leaders tabled a comprehensive list of desired reforms. Their primary message was a call for a federal system of government, emphasizing the need for decentralized power.
We want at least federal system. لأن في ولاية هنا عندنا جات في دول ده قلنا دايين عشان القانون بحكم السودان للعنو في أمريكا ونكتو 4 سنة أنت تحكم فيه.
Let the law, the government, do not interfere into the rights of religion.
أنا داير في الدستور ده زول البجلد عسكري لازم ترينتا سينا فوق شادو أراضي بكل community حكومة يعني مونيكا.
Power should be given to the grassroots to decide on what they want, what suits them.
أي كلام أكتب الباكس ما مني
يا كورانانا بونيتو
ما بنربي لك باتو بالسياسة
تلك بنيرانغو
وبكون ده على جيجا على بدل beside بدل بتاعنا.
To ensure these critical consultations reach every remote corner of the state, the United Nations mission in South Sudan has stepped in. During a strategic meeting with the NCRC, UNMISS reaffirmed its unwavering commitment. The mission pledged to provide the necessary logistical support and assistance to facilitate these vital civic education programs, ensuring no voice is left unheard. UNMISS support enables citizens to shape the nation's permanent constitution. For SSBC News,
Police Inspector General Said Chawullom and the Turkish ambassador to South Sudan met in Ergin, discussed strengthening cooperation in South Sudan National Police Service, particularly in the areas of police training, operational development, and capacity building. During the discussions, the Inspector General expressed deep appreciation for Turkey's continued support to the South Sudan to expand cooperation in specialized training programs and institutional strengthening.
And we assured the South Sudanese police about Turkey's desire to collaborate in law and order, and where we can help South Sudan in maintaining both the security and safety of its citizenry and pursuit.
The Director of Traffic Police Directorate, Major General Kon Jonakot, issued new directives to reorganize the distribution of traffic police on the main roundabouts in Juba City and other main junctions for the aim of promoting public and traffic safety for the road users.
عملنا فيهم مسجدات وقرارات جديد طالع من سيد مدير إدارة العمل للمرور إنه في كل ثانية أو تقاطع هامة هيكون في 7 أفراد ذات ضابط وبالكشف وبالاسم. اللي بيكون زيادة زول نمر 8 داك بيكون ما معروف هو جاي من وين. هيكون إننا توقف بورام، هنتحرك بحركة دورية على مستوى العاصمة جوبا تحديدا عشان نلقى فرد الزيادة ده أو ضابط الزيادة في الموقع. زياته زي عندنا بوابة بتاع اللو هيكون في 7 أفراد وضابط واحد. سينيور 7 دايز هيكون في 7 أفراد وضابط واحد. سينيور كاستم هيكون في 7 أفراد وضابط واحد. سينيور جامعة جوبا هيكون في 7 أفراد وضابط واحد. تقاطع بتاع تمرة هيكون في 7 أفراد وضابط واحد. لحد ملكية وكبري منكي ده توزيع جديد اللي اتعمل، وهنطبق نظام بتاع الدباجات اللي كان عملناه قبل كده، ان احنا هنطبقه انه كله هيكون رابط دباجه وبرقم بتاعه رقم واحد مثلا 8.
Wheelchair basketball is giving persons with disabilities hope for regional and international competitions. Adia Gildo reports.
At Nimra Talata Court in Juba, players push their wheelchairs with force and ring. Rubber tires grip the ground as others spin and glide. Basketball thumbs in unison. This is not a scene of struggle, but of hope. 3 days a week, these athletes sweat and train with determination. They call themselves the Bright Star Team, South Sudan's national wheelchair basketball team. Amaudid Makwe Manuel, Secretary General and player, says many of the players had lived in isolation after amputations. Others face stigma because of their disability. The game has brought together more than 7 former child soldiers, polio survivors, and amputees. For many, the team has become a community, one they once believed they would never find.
When I see my colleagues playing football, playing basketball, I was like, if I was having my own legs, I would have been participating in this. And I was like, I was out of the war. But when I came to the wheelchair basketball, I was more excited. And I felt more relieved. I was more included in the daily lives.
James Luate, player at Nimra Talata Basketball Stadium, says the sports has enabled most of them find dignity, belonging, and a new beginning.
Wheelchair basketball له فعلا يساعد في ناحية نشاطات المواطنين يعني بيخفف من الظروف التمواكين بالذات يعني انت بتلقوا ممكن مواق بوقت في داخل الهله ما بيكون عنده شغل وفي جزء مننا ممكن بيبقى بيدمر نفسه بمريسه وشراب وكده لكن ويلشير كان الناس كله جاء اخوانا زي ناس بيشجع بعدين وناس بقدر فكر لحاجات الكويس لقدام.
Dark Moses, another player, was introduced to wheelchair basketball by the International Committee of the Red Cross. He says the sport has taught him more than athletic skills. It has also taught him teamwork, peace, and self-worth.
حاجة اسمه كورة ده بيساعد في الجسم يعني ده بيخليك يعني زول قوي وبيخليك زول نشيط يعني حتى لو عندك أفكار سيئة حاجة أفكار كاب بيخليك أنت شنو ما تفكر لأنه زمان بيكون في كورة.
Some athletes were supported with grants from the ICRC, helping them to start small businesses and rebuild their lives off the court. According to James Loate, they are now calling on organizations and sponsors to help keep the games and their dreams alive.
لو كما حالات ده كله يتكون ويلشير إذا كده أنا بقدر كون شنو فيدريشن اللي بقدر يجيب منتخب جنوب السودان كله في داخل شنو عاصمة جنوب السودان.
In 2022, the team placed second at the first African mixed wheelchair basketball, an international tournament, marking a milestone for adaptive sports in the country. Today, the team hopes to establish a national federation that can represent South Sudan internationally, but a lack of funding continues to hinder participation in the regional and global competition.
South Sudan national team Bright Star lost their first qualifiers game against Syria in the FIFA Arab Cup in Doha, Qatar. And that finally brings us to the end of our news hour. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Maut Polnang. Till next time.